Welcome to ASM Assembly Systems. We're coming up on the end of the show, and I'm delighted to be joined by Alexander Hagenfeld on my left here and Stéphane Leroux on my right. If I could start with you, Alexander, I mean, what's been your feedback on the show? What's been the feel here for ASM?
Oh, it's been a great show. We've had a lot of customers come visit us, both the new customers and existing customers, and they spend a lot of time here. So they come, some with very specific questions regarding our processes and solutions, and would like to have open discussions with our experts regarding how they can improve in their own factories.
Right. So that's been very different from the dynamic, for example, at Productronica, where you have maybe have more traffic, but not spending so much time with you.
Exactly. So that's I think the big difference between Productronica and SMT here in Nuremberg. That the people that come here usually have a lot more time, yeah? Right. Which makes it more interesting for us as well, because we can really take a deeper dive into some of these topics.
Absolutely. So what sort of challenges have they been bringing to you?
It really varies, but I think all of our customers are looking for ways how they can improve KPIs in their factories, and it's a range of different processes. So we've identified 8 core workflows that we use to analyze our customers' factories and to sort of pinpoint where could we start a potential project to improve.
Right, okay. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to turn to Stéphane because he's been working on some of these workflows. Maybe you can tell me some of the typical workflow places that you've been working with customers. I mean, this is usually their first approach to smart factory integration. They start with taking an issue or a problem area and working through that first.
Correct. This is like Alex mentioned. So the visitors that we have seen during the 3 days, they were not only coming to see what ASM is able to offer, but they came with specific expectations, specific challenges, and then we immediately deep into processes and workflows, not only on specific equipment or software or hardware solutions. We had many customers or visitors coming and having some specific questions on specific workflows. From my side, what was very interesting to hear also from these visitors that they had a lot of challenges about, for example, monitoring or system integration. I have my system, I have software or hardware solutions from ASM, but these solutions, they have to be somehow part of a customer, of a unique production plan, customer environment. Yeah. So from my side, we had a lot of interesting discussions with visitors and customers talking about how can I control how my systems are running, and how can I integrate these solutions from ISM in an easy way and in the best way. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Of course, integration's been what it's been all about this week at the show. It's all been all about software, connectivity, etc. Are you finding that's one of the big issues that you've got facing you? Because obviously ASM equipment works seamlessly with ASM equipment. It's the integration with existing products or third-party products that your customers may have.
Right, so I think there's some interesting things happening in this field regarding connectivity, machine-to-machine communication and so on. One thing that we're promoting here at the booth is the Hermus Standard, which is a joint initiative to facilitate this horizontal communication throughout the line. Which we're all looking forward to coming out to the market soon. Well, it is available now, but to a limited extent. On top of that,
it's been tested in Netherlands, I believe, isn't it?
Right, yeah. So it's already live, up and running, and more and more machine manufacturers are now ready to deliver the Hermus Standard. And of course, we're looking at a complete line solution here. Yeah. On top of that, we also have things like CFX, the IPC standard, which is also being promoted here at our booth, but also other places at the show as well, which is more for the vertical integration. How can I get data out of my machines, my production lines, factories, and bring it into the cloud, analyze this data, and then feed it back to production.
No, I mean, it's really an exciting time. So do you see any issues with customers worrying about security and different things like that with these different systems?
Yeah, for sure. Security is a big concern for everybody as soon as we're talking about big data, Internet of Things, smart factory, whatever the name is. So we have to integrate the solutions into a production environment. And of course, the data have to be shared by many systems. And of course, we have to ensure that the data are safely secured and that it's not used in the wrong way, actually. Yeah. Right. So we have systems and software that are fully supporting standard solutions that are able to protect from external environment, of course.
Right.
But security is definitely
A big one.
a big one, yeah, for sure. When we talk about integration,
Sure. So, Alexander, I mean, where do you see the software development going? I mean, we've got line solutions, we've got both horizontally and vertically with CFX. Where do you see that going? Because I mean, a lot of people talk about materials management and many wider issues throughout the factory.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, right? So we're not really talking about only line level anymore. We're talking about factory solutions. We're talking about software that can control your entire factory. We can provide big pieces of that puzzle. So our core knowledge is printing and placement machines, and we offer solutions that will give you the best possible utilization of that equipment. But we also realize that there are other machines in the factory, other processes where we do not have the same sort of insight, and therefore we can provide very important building blocks for our customers. And coming back to the topic of integration, this is where it's important to get these different systems to communicate with each other.
Right, absolutely. But did you say, I mean, some of these areas your ASM is very familiar with, but there's some that they're not. I mean, take for example box build. I mean, it's not really an area that traditionally ASM's had a lot of experience in. What do you think about that?
Yeah, boxes is, I talk about the boxes. We have, here we are talking about workflows, but we could consider these boxes as our workflows. We have different boxes that are combined together in a factory, and a box can be a line combination of machines, like we have a combination of C+SX and C+TX machines, making the perfect line for some customers, especially the customers here in Europe. So we have the perfect combination of machines. This is a box, this is a workflow, this is a workflow that could be the production workflow, and we have other boxes that could be material management and setup preparation. This is also a combination of hardware and software solutions from
You see
ASM.
there's some commonality between
Some commonality for sure,
the
yeah.
two.
And one box that we also have to consider is also the support, the training. It's not physically a box, but it's also part of the offering and the solutions we have to consider.
Well,
Train the people and support the people in the right way with the right tools. Yeah.
Talking about training and also factory management, I mean, you're starting to use tools to allocate these resources better.
Right, so we touched on the topic of material management, for instance, just before. We have a new tool that will hopefully get us to move away from having dedicated operators per line to a more open operator pool concept. In order to do that, we need to have an information system that is provided to the people who interact with the environment and give them the right instructions at the right time. Yeah? So part of this system is to be able to differentiate different machine events and channel them either to a remote support channel where you could fix the problem remotely, or if you need manual intervention, for instance, there's a foil torn on the machine, or you need to replenish material, then we can send that information to an operator or a pool of operator and make sure that they carry out that task on time.
The important thing is that you know ahead of time that operator you're sending it to is qualified to do that task.
Exactly, right. And here again, we're also aware that we are probably not the only machine in the entire line, and therefore it's open. It's important that we're able to use information from other machines as well. Right?
So, Alexander, I'd like to turn my attention now to what your highlights were from the ASM products that were on the booth this week.
So one highlight for me was definitely our service offerings. We have a couple of things here at the booth, like our nozzle cleaning station. We're also displaying an auto splicing tool, some remote support functionalities with Remote Smart Factory, and training tools with augmented reality and so on. Yeah? And I see like a lot of customers seem to be very interested in these process supporting products that will help them streamline how they run certain workflows.
Absolutely. I mean, the augmented reality is very useful for training people who don't necessarily have all the knowledge on how to do things, and the instructions coming up on the glasses is very cool.
And providing the information just in time, right?
Right.
Because if you have a training and you don't need it for up to a year, maybe that information is gone.
Right. Okay. And so let me ask you about the process support tools that you have. You have a lot of consumables and different things.
Yes.
What's new on that front?
Well, actually, ASM is probably the first, the only solution provider that is also in the SMT assembly business that is also able to provide to offer consumables and tooling for the equipment. Yeah? Right. So we have a lot of customers also visiting us and talking about all these consumables, because when you are running a nice car, you don't want to have cheap tires, you know. So you want to have you want to use the right tools and the right consumables. Yeah? So we have our PSP, our product support products from ASM, stencil, or all the solvent and on the consumables that you're needing, for example, for your printing, for your printers. Yeah? And we have just introduced also a new catalog, which make it also easy for our customers to get all the material they need for their process.
And they can get presumably they can get this catalog online.
Online, of course, yeah. So we have a new catalog with all the consumables and the products, and of course online we have also an online ordering and selling process also for all these tools. Yeah.
Great. Okay. One last question, Alexander, and that is about the lead times. It's a big issue at the moment. What are lead times like with ASM at the moment?
You mean for machine deliveries?
Yes.
Right now, it's about 6 weeks, I would say, depending on what machine you are ordering. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it is definitely a hot topic right now, and it's all about trying to make sure, or having the right forecast, knowing what to build, so that we can provide in time.
Gentlemen, it's a wonderful topic. We could talk about it all day, but they're about to close this show, so I want to say thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.